30 are past E. I. In chapter 2 we saw that regions like the Kaveri Delta became the center of large kingdoms. Did you notice that there was no mention of a kingdom with Delhi as its capital? That was because Delhi became an important city only in the 12th century. Take a look at table 1. Delhi 5 RST became the capital of a kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs, who were defeated in the middle of the 12th century by the Chauhans, also referred to as Chahamanas of Ajmer. It was under the Tomaras and Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center. Many rich Jaina merchants lived in the city and constructed several temples. Coins minted here, called Delhiwal, had a wide circulation. The transformation of Delhi into a capital that controlled vast areas of the subcontinent started with the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate in the beginning of the 13th century. Take a look at table 1 again and identify the 5 dynasties that together made the Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultans built many cities in the area that we now know as Delhi. Look at map 1 and locate Delhi Ikuna, Syrian Jahamna. 3 Delhi, 12th to 15th century. Map 1 selected Sultanate cities of Delhi, 13th-14th centuries. Dash. Dash. Unit 1 to 4, in 30. The 11th of May 2022 10 hours 37 minutes and 30 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. 31 Delhi, 12th to 15th. Rajput dynasties. Tomaras. Early 12th century. Minus 1165. Anangapala. 1130-1145. Chauhans. 1165. Minus 1192. Prithviraj Chauhan. 1175-1192. Early Turkish rulers 1206. Minus 1290. Qutbuddin Aibak. 1206-1210. Shamsuddin Iltutmish. 1210-1236. Razia. 1236-1240. Qiyasuddin Balban. 1266-1287. Khalji dynasty. 1290. Minus 1320. Jalaluddin Khalji. 1290-1296. Alauddin Khalji. 1296-1316. Tiluk dynasty. 1320. Minus 1414. Qiyasuddin Tiluk. 1320-1324. Muhammad Tiluk. 1324-1351. Firuz Shah Tiluk. 1351-1388. Sayyid dynasty. 1414. Minus 1451. Khizr Khan. 1414-1421. Lodi dynasty. 1451-1526. Balu Lodi. 1451-1489. The rulers of Delhi. Table 1. Unit 1 to 4, in 31. The 11th of May 2022 10 hours 37 minutes and 34 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. Rationalized 2023-2432 are past E. Understanding Delhi under the Sultan's histories are known as Tariq, singular, Tawarik, plural, in Persian, the language of administration under the Delhi Sultans. The authors of Tawarik were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers, who both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of just rule. The Circle of Justice. Fakh-i-Mudabbir wrote in the 13th century. A king cannot survive without soldiers, and soldiers cannot live without salaries. Salaries come from the revenue collected from peasants, but peasants can pay revenue only when they are prosperous and happy. This happens when the king promotes justice and honest governance. Do you think the Circle of Justice is an appropriate term to describe the relationship between the king and his subjects? Birthright privileges claimed on account of birth. For example, people believed that nobles inherited their rights to govern because they were born in certain families. Gender distinctions, social and biological differences between women and men. Usually, these differences are used to argue that men are superior to women. Keep the following additional details in mind. 1. The authors of Tawarik lived in cities, mainly Delhi, and hardly ever in villages. 2. They often wrote their histories for sultans in the hope of rich rewards. 3. These authors advised rulers on the need to preserve an ideal social order based on birthright and gender distinctions. Their ideas were not shared by everybody. In 1236, Sultan Iltutmish's daughter, Razia, became sultan. The chronicler of the age, Minhaj-i-Siraj, recognized that she was more able and qualified than all her brothers. But he was not comfortable at having a queen as ruler. Nor were the nobles happy at her attempts to rule independently. She was removed from the throne in 1240. Unit 1 to 4, in 32. The 11th of May 2022 10 hours 37 minutes and 35 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. 33 Delhi, 12th to 15th. What Minhaj-i-Siraj thought about Razia. Minhaj-i-Siraj thought that the queen's rule went against the ideal social order created by God, in which women were supposed to be subordinate to men. He therefore asked, in the register of God's creation, since her account did not fall under the column of men, how did she gain from all of her excellent qualities? On her inscriptions and coins, Razia mentioned that she was the daughter of Sultan Iltutmish. This was in contrast to the Queen Rudramadevi, 1262-1289, of the Kakatiya dynasty of Warangal, part of modern Andhra Pradesh. Rudramadevi changed her name on her inscriptions and pretended she was a man. Another queen, Didda, ruled in Kashmir, 980-1003. Her title is interesting. It comes from Didi, or elder sister, an obviously affectionate term given to a loved ruler by her subjects. Express Minhaj's ideas in your own words. Do you think Razia shared these ideas? Why do you think it was so difficult for a woman to be a ruler? A closer look. Administration under the Khaljis and Tughluks. The consolidation of a kingdom as vast as the Delhi Sultanate needed reliable governors and administrators. Rather than appointing aristocrats and landed chieftains as governors, the early Delhi Sultans, especially Iltutmish, favored their special slaves purchased for military service, called Bandagan in Persian. They were carefully trained to man some of the most important political officers in the kingdom. Since they were totally dependent upon their master, the Sultan could trust and rely upon them. Unit 1 to 4, in 33. The 11th of May 2022 10 hours 37 minutes and 35 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. Rationalized 2023-2434 are past E. Client someone who is under the protection of another, a dependent or hanger-on. Slaves rather than sons. The sultans were advised. A slave, whom one has brought up and promoted, must be looked after, for it needs a whole lifetime and good luck to find a worthy and experienced slave. Wise men have said that a worthy and experienced slave is better than a son. Can you think of any reason why a slave would be better than a son? The Khaljis and Tughluks continued to use Bandagan and also raised people of humble birth, who were often their clients, to high political positions. They were appointed as generals and governors. However, this also introduced an element of political instability. Slaves and clients were loyal to their masters and patrons, but not to their heirs. Sultans had their own servants. As a result, the accession of a new monarch often saw conference licit between the old and the new nobility. The patronage of these humble people by the Delhi Sultans also shocked many elites, and the authors of Persian Tawarik criticized the Delhi Sultans for appointing the low and base born to high officers. Officials of Sultan Muhammad Tiluk. Sultan Muhammad Tiluk appointed Aziz Khummar, a wine distiller, Firuz Hajjing, a barber, Manka Tabak, a cook, and 2 gardeners, Leda and Pira, to high administrative posts. Ziauddin Barani, a mid-14th century chronicler, reported their appointments as a sign of the Sultan's loss of political judgment and his incapacity to rule. Why do you think Barani criticized the Sultan? Unit 1 to 4, in 34. The 11th of May 2022, 10 hours 37 minutes and 35 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. 35 Delhi, 12th to 15th. Like the earlier sultans, the Khalji and Taluk monarchs appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying sizes. These lands were called Ikta and their holder was called Iktadar or Mukti. The duty of the Muktis was to lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iktas. In exchange for their military services, the Muktis collected the revenues of their assignments as salary. They also paid their soldiers from these revenues. Control over Muktis was most effective if their office was not inheritable and if they were assigned Iktas for a short period of time before being shifted. These harsh conditions of service were rigorously imposed during the reigns of Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad Taluk. Accountants were appointed by the state to check the amount of revenue collected by the Muktis. Care was taken that the Mukti collected only the taxes prescribed by the state and that he kept the required number of soldiers. As the Delhi Sultans brought the hinterland of the cities under their control, they forced the landed chieftains, the Samantar aristocrats, and rich landlords to accept their authority. Under Alauddin Khalji, the state brought the assessment and collection of land revenue under its own control. The rights of the local chieftains to levy taxes were cancelled and they were also forced to pay taxes. The Sultan's administrators measured the land and kept careful accounts. Some of the old chieftains and landlords served the Sultanate as revenue collectors and assessors. There were three types of taxes: 1 on cultivation called Karaj and amounting to about 50% of the peasants' produce, 2 on cattle and 3 on houses. It is important to remember that large parts of the subcontinent remained outside the control of the Delhi Sultans. It was difficult to control distant provinces like Bengal from Delhi and soon after annexing southern India, the entire region became independent. Even in the Gangetic Plain, there. Unit 1 to 4, in 35. The 11th of May 2022, 10 hours 37 minutes and 35 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. Rationalized 2023, 2436 past e. For forested areas that Sultanate forces could not penetrate. Local chieftains established their rule in these regions. Sometimes rulers like Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad Taluk could force their control in these areas but only for a short duration. Chieftains and their fortifications. Ibn Battuta, a 14th century traveler from Morocco, Africa, explained that chieftains sometimes fortified themselves in mountains, in rocky, uneven and rugged places as well as in bamboo groves. In India the bamboo is not hollow, it is big. Its several parts are so intertwined that even fire cannot affect them, and they are on the whole very strong. The chieftains live in these forests which serve them as ramparts, inside which are their cattle and their crops. There is also water for them within, that is, rainwater which collects there. Hence they cannot be subdued except by powerful armies, who entering these forests, cut down the bamboos with specially prepared instruments. Describe the ways in which the chieftains arranged for their defense. The Mongols under Genghis Khan invaded Transoxiana in northeast Iran in 1219 and the Delhi Sultanate faced their onslaught soon after. Mongol attacks on the Delhi Sultanate increased during the reign of Alauddin Khalji and in the early years of Muhammad Taluk's rule. This forced the two rulers to mobilize a large standing army in Delhi which posed a huge administrative challenge. The Sultanate in the 15th and 16th centuries. Take a look at table 1 again. You will notice that after the Tughluks, the Sayyid and Lodi dynasties ruled. Unit 1 to 4, in 36. The 11th of May 2022, 10 hours 37 minutes and 35 seconds. Rationalized 2023-24. 37 Delhi, 12th to 15th. From Delhi and Agra until 1526. By then, Jaunpur, Bengal, Malwa, Gujarat, Rajasthan and the entire South India had independent rulers who established fluid flourishing states and prosperous capitals. This was also the period which saw the emergence of new ruling groups like the Afghans and the Rajputs. Some of the states established in this period were small but powerful and extremely well administered. Sher Shah Sur, 1540-1545, started his career as the manager of a small territory for his uncle in Bihar and eventually challenged and defeated the Mughal Emperor Humayun, 1530-1540, 1555-1556. Sher Shah captured Delhi and established his own dynasty. Although the Sur dynasty ruled for only 18 years, 1540-1555, it introduced an administration that borrowed elements from Alauddin Khalji and made them more efficient. Sher Shah's administration became the model followed by the great Emperor Akbar, 1556-1605, when he consolidated the Mughal Empire. Imagine